Good evening, folks. It is Wednesday night. It is time for IndieCD's Creatives at Play. Tonight, we will have, as always, Trey,
Hello, and a hobo.
Hobo, Rich, and Rich's desk. Uh,
I crafted this.
Yay!
that actually looks really good.
We should have bakers. That's creative.
This is just beef stew meat, fingerling potatoes, carrots, celery, onion, all chopped up. Some better than bouillon. A couple of bouillon cubes, 3 cups of water. Generous amounts of mozzarella steak seasoning and the garlic herb seasoning from McCormick as well. In the Instapot for 45 minutes.
Nice.
Keep talking dirty.
And then, if I want to turn it into a true stew, all I need to do is, some cornstarch or flour and cold water, and let all that cause that beautiful reaction to thicken everything up.
Yes.
I like my stew like I like my women, thick.
There you go. And as noted in the comments that earlier, we may end up cutting the show short due to storms, but looking at the radar, we should be about out of it now, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. But one other thing I am going to mention real quick also, I'm going to pull this up on stage. McLeod Creations over on Kick. He's doing, I guess Kick is doing some kind of challenge for those who are streamed to their art category, and he's currently 4th. I don't know all the details. I heard Tosh mentioning something about it, but this man is insanely talented. So if you like watching people draw, I highly recommend going over to see him.
I instantly hate this man, just out of jealousy.
Right.
I demand that fate give me 0.1% of his talent.
Yeah, that is beautiful artwork that's going on over there.
Yeah. Hope I hit the right buttons here. You would think the host of the show would know what buttons to actually hit. Let's see. Tonight we are going to play from the Never Bank on a Learning Curve album by Dan Hollifield. You can find all his links at indiecd.org/about-dan-hollifield. And he is the 4th. So let's see here. And we're going to go this because this seems like it's fitting for the week. A somewhat lighter shade of fail.
Beautiful.
So, Trey, you're still working on the beret,
Yep.
I'm assuming?
And I'm not sure if I have enough yarn to finish it up, so I do have my backup project for the Frog Wizard. So I do have my green, and then that, and my purple. So we have backups.
Nice.
Just in case.
And Rich has a ton of rings.
So
That's a lot.
a little over a week or so ago, I decided I need to get more rings for doing the flag keychains and bracelets and such. So, I went through. I'm like, okay, these are all the colors I should need for all the major flavors of the flags.
All the colors of the
also,
rainbow.
Yeah, and then like The lesbian has 2 different shades of pink in theirs, and there's a couple that have a couple different shades of blue. So I had to go ahead and make sure that I got plenty of everything. And then the Ring Lord, because all these are from the Ring Lord. The Ring Lord had a half off of bags that were kind of an oops bag. That were 50-50-ish mix of 16 gauge 1/4 and 18 gauge 1/4 rings. So I'm like, I'm a cheap motherfucker. I've got no problem, buying 3, bags of that and, separating them out as I need them to go this, because, those are the 2 ring sizes I use most currently, unless I'm making my large dice bags. My large dice bags are done in 16 gauge 5/16. So I'm trying to figure out what I still haven't figured out what the hell I'm working on tonight.
Chainmail, probably.
Oh, there we go.
So I still have some stuff prepped from last week for scale flowers. From last Monday, when we did the collab with Tosh. That was a blast. That was fun. I can't wait till we get a chance to do that again. And speaking of Tosh, that evil person she is. Went over to that bead lady.
Oh yeah.
Because where is the rest of it? All right. I'm losing stuff other than my mind. That's not good. All right. Well, good thing I scanned those instructions. Seriously. Somewhere around here. Oh. The first Japanese beetle of the season.
I was going to say, I saw that on your camera.
That would probably look freaking huge on the camera. But this is an F-bomb kit.
Yes.
So, and then while I got the F-bomb kit and I was there, I'm like, I've wanted to learn the dragon scale weave. So I went ahead and grabbed a kit for the stretchy dragon scale bracelet. And then also, so I can figure out how to do it in a stretchy fashion, the kit for the stretchy Byzantine, because I like the Byzantine weave as well.
Nice.
Rich, I also have an F-bomb pattern. We should have an F-bomb stream where we just work on F-bombs. I think that might be fun.
So I assume the F-bomb that you're talking about is a crochet pattern.
Yes, it's crocheted, but it is also an F-bomb.
So now I'm going to have to find an F-bomb logo to Woodburn. So I can't exactly do an F-bomb out of candle wax.
You could 3D print one.
Yeah.
Actually, you could do an F-bomb in candle wax.
Yeah.
It would just take a lot more time. I put it in the wrong thing.
Oh, Foxy snuck in on me.
Yep.
Aha!
We do have Foxy here. Well, did you find your?
Yes,
There it
I put
is.
it in the wrong envelope. I put it in the envelope with the stuff from the.
Did you
So
file it
from,
under H for
Metal
toys?
Designs. No, because this is not my penis stretcher. That's what it was in the movie. Is this what is that? It's a penis stretcher. What? No, it's just another in a long string of distractions. So yeah, a scale flower kit, which is the scale flowers that I do all the time. I also got a Celtic Star kit from keychain kit from Metal Designs, which I haven't had a chance to break into yet, and then a scale butterfly kit from Metal Designs as well. And they've got some really good stuff over there as far as kits and things like that. So I need to do better and make a list of places to find the cool stuff. But yes, thought of shiny because, well, Rich, how about you take it out of the shiny plastic package? So the F-bomb right there. So looking at it so far, it's not horribly different from my dice bags. Starts pretty much the same way. So I think that's probably what I will be working on today.
All right, we're gonna bring Foxy up here. How you doing, Foxy? She has wares if you have coin.
Working
And-
on complicated.
Say that one more time, Foxy.
I'm separating copper out so I can braid it.
Okay.
Oh my.
That, yeah. You have fun with that.
It comes out really neat looking though.
And I thought I had patience on knotting my yarn. Goodness.
Yeah, this came out of somebody's engine.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, at first I thought that was like some sort of like jute twine or
Yeah.
or hemp or something like that. That's copper.
Yeah.
Huh.
Really fine.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Oh, God love you for doing that, because I wouldn't have the damn patience, that's for sure.
Amen.
I would have to be in the exact proper mood for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, trying to capture Beetlezilla. I screw up my light. There it is. And where the hell did Beetlezilla go? It'll be flying into the camera at some point in time soon. Aha, there you are, you little...
It's probably a bad idea to drop wax from that height
That might hurt.
into hot wax.
Splash zone!
Right?
That could leave a mark, or 12.
It only burned for a second.
Memory.
A little bit more in there, because I don't think that's quite enough.
Okay, so
And then, because I'm going to be way behind in the comments, I will get into the comments here in just a second.
I am keeping an eye on Kick, so
Oh, thank you, because I totally forgot to do
yep, I got it open. We have nothing, so we're
Okay.
good. We good.
is that why you're going with the candles tonight to give yourself more time to to play
Well,
Dawn?
Yeah, well, that and I've been too lazy to switch out the filament roll on the 3D printer because it's about on empty.
Oh,
I don't even think I have enough filament left on that roll to do like another plate of Nick's BSRs.
oh,
And I don't have anything to wood burn right now, so I'm just gonna do my candles, which I want to get a bunch of candles made up anyway for the Rummage in the Park in May. Have my wife sell those. But all right, let me get into the comments here. And first through the door is the one that's up on the screen right now. Fox is saying, "Good to know. Be safe, everyone." And Dan saying, "Good evening." Good evening, Dan. Hope you're doing well tonight. And Bladed is in the chat and in the background of the stream, saying hi to Dan. Donna's telling me to be safe. And we have greetings. And Donna says, "Thunderstorm here right now. Tornado watch till 10 Central. Welcome spring in the Midwest." Yep.
mhm.
Yeah, we're under a watch also. I wonder if they finally lifted it, because that storm should be past us.
Yeah, the sirens were going off here, but nothing was happening.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
it's
Um,
not raining.
we're right on the back edge of the storm right now, so. And we
Get a light-colored map for when I do this stuff.
and
You
Dawn's
saw-
joining us in the chat. Good evening, Dawn. Hope you start to feel better soon. And we got greetings to Dawn from Donna. And Dawn says, "Taking one more week off to give the new antibiotics time to kick in." Yes, that is
Better.
And yeah, we want you to be better before you come on stream.
Jeez.
And
Yes, grow stronger. Be better. Oh, wrong content. Fine.
Donna says, "Understand, Dawn, your health is what's important." And Carl's saying, "Hello to everyone. We're in storms too, so if we disappear, you'll know why." Yep.
Mhm.
And Donna's greeting the Woodsman dude. And Carl asked Dawn, "Did you get electricity back, or are you on your phone?" And she said, "Yes and yes." And we have Grimm's Dream joining us tonight. Good evening, Grim. And we got greetings. And Dawn says, "I'm just blessed to have found family that back me up and support me." Yes. Ooh, that's melted. We're going to do the smart thing this time. We're going to lower these little cubes in, because the last time I just kind of dropped them in and managed to splash myself.
Goodness, we need to get you like tongs.
Bah, it's fine.
Tongs.
So we're just going to sit here and give this a little mixy. See if I can do, walk, talk, and chew bubble gum at the same time.
Oh, that
Carl says, "Well, please take care of yourself. It would take 3 hours to get over there with paracord." Yeah.
yeah, right. And then you have to be careful of the tornadoes and everything. So we'd have to put her in the basement. Yeah.
And Carl says, "We back you up even when you don't want us to do so."
Yeah.
Exactly. Ooh, that melted quick. Come on, a little bit more.
Carl
Out.
enjoys watching certain shapes back up, and he cannot lie.
Melt. Thank you.
Oh, and just because I scarred Nick with it earlier, I'm gonna scar y'all with it too. There is somewhere out there, someone doing the baby got back to the music for holy crap, Sound of Silence. That grew.
Dan saying good news. Lindsay and I visited Laura's office today. We both now have wills. Excellent. Always good to have a will.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Or Penny, or Dr. Smith.
Mm-hmm. And Carl saying yay to Dan. Dawn says I admit. Carl says good job. Dawn saying it's nice being around people I don't have to prove myself to. Exactly. And Donna's saying good going, Dan. And Carl said I had to take another daytime sinus pill, so if I fall asleep at the keys, you'll know why. Also had 2 huge Mountain Dews, so it's a battle right now. So I used to... My allergies were so bad that Benadryl was the only thing that would actually touch them. The problem is Benadryl will put me to sleep. Like a coma sleep. So having to take Benadryl while out on the job site, I would chase it with a bottle of Mountain Dew and a 5-hour energy.
That explains why they don't do much for you anymore.
That explains what, Rich?
That explains why those don't do much for you anymore.
Right? Yeah. Mixing those two probably wasn't my smartest move ever, but it kept me alive on the job site.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been there. I've done that too, you know.
I'm partially to you being alive, so, you know, there's that.
Yeah.
She's not ready to train husband number 2 yet.
No, I'm done after this one. Like, that's it. I'm just gonna be the crazy cat lady.
You already are the crazy cat lady.
I know, I'm done. There will be no more.
Then Blaze is saying we now have turned dawn into a verb. Dawn, to threaten to tie up someone when they are overexerting themselves.
Yep.
That's right.
We need to
I did find that this morning, didn't I?
Yep.
We need to add that and Keisha-ing to the Urban Dictionary.
Yes.
We need to add that to Webster's.
Yeah.
Dan says the lawyer also told Lindsay that because of Georgia laws, no one could have taken the house from her, even if we didn't have a will. The church ladies were telling her misinformation.
Good.
Carl says, Carl's laughing at thesis. Do I need to dawn you? And Bladed says, yep. And Donna's doing our job for us as always. Don't forget to like and share, folks. I know you're subscribed, right? Yes, please do like, share, subscribe. If you're watching from Kick, we do have the ability to do subs now over there. So highly recommend if you're going to become a monthly sub or gift a sub. And I am just digging myself a deeper and deeper hole with green room comments.
Go on.
It's cheaper on the desktop than it is mobile.
Nah.
And you know what? Hold on.
Yes.
We're gonna start this, and we're just gonna go ahead and pull this up now.
There you go.
And we might as well put this one up in the corner. And then
Yep.
we'll move that around like so. There we go. And no, don't close it. Go back to here. Okay, there we go. Carl says church ladies are just a joy, aren't they? Yeah.
Who could have given the wrong information? Satan?
It was just the tone of voice.
It's a bad imitation of Dana Carvey, but so, you know.
Oh, that was great. The tone of voice with the pronunciation, just chef's kiss.
And Blade saying, so now we have quiching and dawning. And Dan says, indeed, busy bodies, all of them. And Seasta is here tonight. She's saying, hi, y'all. Tornado warning just fell off for us. One is confirmed just east of us, heading towards South Bend. Ooh.
Okay.
I need to check in on Facebook later, make sure some of my old coworkers are still good.
Yeah.
This way instead of actually at home.
And Donna's greeting me and saying hey to Trey, Hobo, and Rich. And Blade says Foxy shall be joining after she finishes stuffing her face with nuggets and fries.
Nuggets and fries.
And Michaela's here tonight. Good evening, Michaela. Hope you're doing well.
Hey.
That is slightly dramatic.
Carl says Hobo. Oh, and hi, Trey, Joe, and Rich. And we have greetings to Michaela. Carl's saying hi to Tara and Michaela. Tara's greeting Carl. Dan's greeting Michaela. And Bladed, I'm assuming this is the link for your show this Saturday?
Yes, it is.
Right. And I do need to look at the rerun of your show. I apologize for not being there. I was playing with OBS, started doing stuff, and totally lost track of time.
Well, it didn't help that I was
No worries, it's all good.
sleeping in the living room, so.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, Trey was passed out like all day Saturday from the time we got home.
I had a headache. I'm pretty sure it was from the weather front, so I just slept all of Saturday, like through the day and the night. So
the storms are messing Misty up.
Yeah.
And we got Michaela greeting Donna, Dan, and Carl. And Carl says Foxy has nuggies. Nice. And Bladed's blaming Nick. Carl saying shame on him. And Michaela says I finished my editing project. I have one more ghost project, then MJ Books will be doing just book reviews until the shelves are clear. Wish me luck. Good luck, honestly, because book reviews, anybody who does book reviews, I tip my hat to you, because not even just book reviews, but even editing, you are going to read possibly some of the best works of art before anybody else. You are also going to read some of the most trash works of art before anybody else. So yes, my hat's off to you. That is almost cooled down. Let me do a quick temperature check before I get back in here.
Pay attention to what kind of things you're working with.
Really quick, we do have Morbidoni over on Kick. Sorry about that. I just looked over. We do look at other things. Unfortunately, StreamYard does not pull from Kick, so we're trying to read things in order. But we will get to you. We try to read them in order.
Yep.
So yes, hello. So Morbidoni was saying hello to us, so I'll just say hello to you right now from Argentina. Nice. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you for visiting us. Unfortunately, most of us do only speak English. So if you could stick to that, we would much appreciate it.
Yep. Let's see here. Carl's saying I had a rebate card from buying my tires, so Donna got Applebee's for dinner. Ooh.
Very nice.
And Carl's saying good luck to Michaela, and Michaela says that sounds delicious, Carl. It actually does. I haven't had Applebee's in a while. And my problem is whenever I go there, though, I always go Fat Kid. And I get their pretzels and beer cheese. and then I get the sampler as my actual meal.
So, you know me and my addiction to people behaving badly.
Mhm.
There is a video out there circling the. Well, it was a while ago that it was circling, but it was circling the pages of individuals who react to that kind of stuff, and it was someone getting tased outside of the Portage Applebee's.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm like, I used to eat there. I don't know.
That's the one I generally go to. But we are going to pause the music for a minute and take a short commercial break. We will be back after a word from some of the people here on the stream.
Hi, I'm Auntie Foxy, and I'm a crafting addict. I make custom jewelry from recycled materials, and Foxy has wares if you have coin. You can find me at indiecd.org/about-auntie-foxy. I hope to see you there.
Nope, not that one. It's got to be that one. Okay. And we're going to play this one. All right, we're going to kick it over to track number 6, Never Bank on a Learning Curve, from the Never Bank on a Learning Curve album. And thank you for the message there, Trey.
I got you.
And we're going to switch up camera views here. We'll pull it over to Rich. And before I get back into the comments, I'm going to add 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go with 6. Little shooters of cedar this time, because the cedar didn't seem to come through that well in the first one.
A little too subtle.
Huh?
A little too subtle, was it?
So much so that I can't even really smell it.
Oh.
So we'll kind of mix that up some here. And getting back to the comments, Donna says, Bestie said the Witzman dude is a good hubby. I agree. Yes, you do have yourself a good husband there. And Carl says, hot honey chicken and tater waffles for me, steak for her. The hot honey chicken sounds good.
Depends on how the honey is, you know. If the honey taste really comes through, not my thing. But if it's just kind of like a sweetened glaze kind of a thing, Yeah.
Actually, I have left in there. Quite a bit. Alright, let's do
You know, Rick, instead of
more.
fighting these, how about you just actually use your pliers and open the damn ring?
Because that's no fun.
There we go. Get a few more droplets there. And go back to mixing.
Mixy.
And Grant Lankard is here with us tonight. Good evening, Grant. Hope you're having a good night there, bud. Hopefully the storms diminish before they get out your way.
Yeah.
And we got greetings to Grant from Carl and Donna. And Carl says, don't talk me up too much. Everyone will want some. How you doing?
Like telling people
Good.
he's all right for a first husband. Then people don't try to steal him from me.
Roar. Haha! You traded with Scoppy, and you didn't!
Ah, there we go. Now I'm getting that cedar smell. Alright, so 9 apparently is the magic number there.
9!
So, give me 1 second here, folks. I need to put on my gloves. Put on the love glove. And,
No gloves, no gloves. Takes me back to high school.
alright, that completes that. And we're going to dump the rest of this right into here. Nope. You get back in there. There we go.
I totally forgot what I left on the TV in the living room. And I was wondering why it sounded like SWAT was surrounding our house.
So, for those who are wondering what the second jar is, this is going to be my abomination jar. So, whenever I have leftover wax, I am dumping the rest into here, which currently has a layer of leather at the bottom. I believe clover and honey is next, and now cedar. So yeah, this is going to smell interesting if I ever burn it.
Right.
So that's not a horrid transition so far.
so far being the key word.
Right.
Alright, so let's kick over here. And we got Michaela greeting Grant, Dan's greeting Grant. Carl said had plenty of Japanese beetles already and stink bugs. Ew. We had a mosquito in the truck last night.
That was dumb. I was not happy.
And Grant saying hi, guys. Grant says I'm still working on Donna, Blade, and Trey's tips for my story. And he should be able to show them soon.
Oh, I'm excited. I was sad there wasn't more of it. That was my main thing. Like, I wanted more.
Blade is looking forward to it, Grant. And we got Donna and Carl greeting Foxy. Foxy's neighbor goes out to start their car and wonders why it won't start. Your jeans are done, dear.
Thank
Blade says we used to be friends with our old maintenance guy who would randomly show up with bundles of copper wire from different appliances for her. Nice.
Oh, nice.
And I am going to totally mess up this name, but Liza Willie Vlog saying hello, good evening. If you are still around, we try and read these in order. I don't know what channel you happen to be on. but we do try and read these in order, and we're going out to a bunch of different places. So, Dawn says, "Play Dawn." Oh dear Lord. And Lesl's waving. Carl's laughing. Carl says, "Nice thesis." Tara says, "Praying hard we don't have rain for rummage in the park. Sending in an app for the day after."
Yeah, that would be. Well, we usually do the rain day the day after. You're sending in an app for the day after. It's been a long day.
Yeah, for
I
one down in
haven't
Bass
caught-
Lake.
Yeah, I haven't caught sister up on what's going on. So, yeah, tell sister what's going on.
And Donna's greeting Tara. She's saying hello back. And she says, "Lamau, I gave Adam Benadryl once, and he was down for the count all day. It gives me about 4 hours of good sleep." Dawn says the smartest move ever for Joey was marrying Trey. It's in the top 10.
Luckiest ever for me.
Yeah. And Carl says, "Pretty much."
Sure.
And Nick saying, "Hey all, due to the storm has been honking out our net." Yep, I kind of figured as much, Nick.
Isn't that special?
Huh?
Isn't that special?
Good evening, Pops. Hope you're doing well, bud. And Tara's greeting Nick, so is Dan. Carl says, "Yeah, it was wild here too, Nick." And we have greetings. And Carl says, "When we went out to dinner, we saw in our neighbor's yard there was a branch had fallen off a tree and impaled itself in the ground. Photos on Facebook tomorrow." Ooh. And
Hi, Inigo.
Uh-huh. I was wondering if you could hear him squeaking.
I heard the squeaky toy.
Pops is saying, "Could it be Satan?"
So I got the first strand of my bracelet done.
Nice. And Carl was asking if Foxy had fallen off.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the first of 3.
Now, does that like slice up your hands at all?
Not usually.
Okay. Oh, hi. Okay, hi, cat, sir.
Oh, is it break time for you?
It's bread time.
Places.
Got the bread tail there. Oh, there's the bread cam. There we go.
Cat.
Got to do the kitty cam.
Cat. Cat.
Then we'll go back over to Foxy here. And Carl says, "Oops, just my computer." Kitty, and speaking of kishiing, how's that book coming, thesis?
Quiet, kitten. Shush. Quiet. We shall not speak of this.
Too late. Oh, okay. Hi.
Don't you start there.
Comments from the Peanut Gallery are only accepted Tuesdays and Thursdays between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Hi, baby. Oh, her? Don't my watch.
And Dawn says, "Hope Misty is on the mend."
Yeah, it's thunderstorm is kicking her in the butt, but otherwise she's doing a little bit better. So,
But besides the kicking her butt portion.
Yeah.
And Donna's greeting Kitty. Carl's saying, "Hey, Kitty," and laughing. And Ruby's here. Good evening, Ruby.
Hey.
Nice to see you here. Hope you're doing well tonight. And Carl's saying, "Welcome back to Ruby." Donna's saying, "Hey to Ruby." Dan says, "Another news. The tree surgeon dropped off his little cleanup tractor in my front yard sometime this morning. So soon we won't have the threat of our trees falling on ours or our neighbors' houses." Nice.
Good.
That is good. And I'm going to take just a second to try and dump the rest of this wax into this other little container here.
Now I see they say to start this the way they say to start this.
There we go. All right. Oh, come on, get in there. Thank you. And we're going to just lower that down for a minute. So I'm going to try and catch up on some of these comments. Let's see. Carl says, Buenos noches, Argentina.
Buenos noches.
And Morbidoni saying hello, and that they're from Argentina. And Tara says the Southwest rolls are our addiction at Applebee's. Adam actually just found a recipe for them the other day. Ooh. Those are good.
Search.
Yeah, copycat recipes with a K is a good site, especially if you like the Seafood Delight from Subway.
Ooh.
And if you like Burger King's Zesty Onion Ring sauce. Jordan Howlett from TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. He's the guy that does a lot of that, And then,
Yeah.
he apparently does a lot of copycat videos and how to do stuff at home as well, especially when a chain tends to piss him off.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's like, all right, challenge accepted. And then also, apparently he is a big Transformers fan.
Really?
Nice.
He got that several $100 transforming Optimus Prime and Megatron and Grimlock, and he made them do a dance party.
Nice.
Nice.
It was glorious.
Ruby says she's doing better, so she's trying to make it to more streams again. What? That's good.
Good.
I'm glad you're doing better, Ruby. We do like it. We do love having you here. And Carl's saying good to hear Ruby, and Grant says Donna is a lucky woman. And Carl is a lucky man. And Dan said, is telling Tara, look up Cowboy Kent Rowland's cooking channel on YouTube. He cooks outdoors on a cast iron stove and on the ground with Dutch ovens. But he and his wife give recipes translated for cooking indoors. Nice.
Ooh.
And Grant says,
You can also find at least one of his cookbooks at Menards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Grant says I'm marinating some venison steaks. that
Oh.
A friend of ours gave us. Oh,
Certainly.
oh, talk dirty to me.
Son of a...
Talk dirty to me. And
What?
Donna's saying Donna is a lucky woman. Yes. Carl says, thank you, Grant. We tried. Donna says that I am trying all the time. I hope that's not an insult.
My monitor. That would be great, Fred. Thank you.
Oh, we got a Cato being Brado, huh?
Uh-huh. Well, he tried to chew on my microphone wires. So when I threatened him with canned air, he decided to try and turn around. And then, why are you being Brado? I loved on you. I gave you the lovin'. On this, the day of my daughter's wedding.
And Grant's saying it rained there earlier. Tara says, thanks, Dan. I'm not sure if I've seen him, but someone who does similar stuff.
There we go. Okay. Pet cam again.
Kitty Cam.
Say hello to your fan. Yep, they all love you.
Working
They're
that tiny
adoring
bomb
fans.
is making me want to say a few F-bombs. So, we're switching gears.
Fair enough.
Grant says it rained just long enough to drench my stepdaughter on the way home from school, which amused me. Oh,
Oh,
God, I don't miss those days. I was one of those. I was close enough to the school that I had to walk home. There was one time we were coming back. This was when I was in high school. It was had to be my freshman year because Hoagie wasn't driving yet, and we're coming back from La Crosse up to Wanata, and it is just absolutely storming out. And South Central actually got hit by a tornado that day. It took lifted up part of the gymnasium roof there, and we get back to Wanata. Well, I lived like a block and a half away, so I get off the bus, I just start walking towards home, and one of my friends comes running up like, "Hey, they're saying there's tornadoes. They want everybody to come inside the school." I'm like, "Yeah, my house is right over there with only my grandmother home, so I'm walking."
did I tell you that? Sorry, go ahead.
I walked all the way home. As soon as I got home and changed into some dry clothes, I called the school and said, "Hey, I made it." But what were you going to say, Trey?
Did I tell you that somebody quit after half a day today? Helping Robert.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he didn't realize he'd be working in the rain when they work outside.
So, Robert did explain that they'd be working on water main breaks, right?
Yeah. But
Which
he
is
didn't
worse
understand.
than the rain.
Especially in the wintertime when it's freezing.
Yeah.
But yeah, half a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is Bread getting into?
Everything. Huh.
Whatever you
And
want them.
He's purring though. Always happy.
I think that might have been a mistype by Nick. Nick says, "Steal never, borrow gladly."
Right? It's relocating.
Permanently relocating. Oh, there we go. There's the kitty cat. Oh, I missed it.
Oh, come back. Come back, kitty cat. Show them the tummy.
There we
it
go. There's the tummy.
is.
There's the
tummy.
spicy kitty. I can't. Oh, okay. He is alive. Okay. Rich was holding so perfectly still on both cameras, I couldn't tell if he was with us or not. Carl says, "Aw." And Don says, "So, Emmy's trouble child tried to burn her house down this morning.
Oh no!
He turned on the stove burner at 5 a.m. He has a curly stash now."
I take it this was a four-pod child. Oh, goodness.
Carl says, "Yikes, yeah." And Sarah's here. Good evening, Sarah.
Yeah.
Hello!
And Sarah says, "Oh, hi. Dealing with figuring out what lightning hit when I was out on the patio. Very close.
Oh, my
Checking
God.
the trees in the garage. I'll be listening here and there while we figure it out. Crazy." And Carl says, "Sarah, she lives." And greetings from Donna to Sarah. And Sarah says, "Either the garage or something behind it was beeping afterwards. I ducked on outdoor swing.
Oh, my God.
Almost. I was outside when the lightning hit." Ooh.
Glad you're all
That's
right.
what we call a bad thing.
Yeah. And Carl says, "Neat Foxy." And Kitty's greeting Sarah. Kitty says, "And yes, we will ask about the book every single night." And Nick says, "Yes, how is that book coming?" And
No
Sarah
comment.
says, hey Kitty, dang, sorry, distracted." And Nick says, "Sarah is on a swing, not the green room." And Dan says, "Nick, Sarah in a goth hoop skirt and a swing with a smile on her face." And Nick will be in his bunk for a while. Grant says, "Nice cat."
Just a swinging.
There's laughing and waiting for Heart to go back in its cage. The lightning hit only a small few yards away from me while on an outdoor swing. Judas Priest. And I actually had a couple of bots hit the Twitch channel, telling me I can get cheap viewers and best viewers from the same place. Carl's saying, "How's your niece, Sarah?" But it did trigger Botrix to thank Dan and Master Boot Record, which I use them on my OBS streams, for allowing us to use their music.
There.
And Grant says, "I do like that cat."
Right. I've got both of them right now.
Oh, there's Hobo. Yep. Hobo on that camera, Bread on this camera. Got a little bread booty going on. And Sarah says, "Hey brother, how's that book coming? I only torture the ones I love, so you're welcome."
Damn it!
Oof. And before we go to our intermission commercial break, speaking of books, Richie, Nick.
Dang.
I'm going through a tunnel. I can't hear you.
What'd you say?
Dang. He even threw an upside down exclamation mark.
The connection's bad.
There's bad storms in the area. I'll have to call you back.
No habla de francais.
That just hurt me a little bit.
It hurt me a lot.
We will take our little intermission because we are at the hour mark, so we will see you in about 3.5 minutes. But please do listen to the Madness Crawl. That looks amazing, Foxy.
Oh, it's pretty.
Squeaky, 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 squeaky.
Nice. All right, we will be back, folks.
Tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delights. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days.
And we are back, folks. And we're going to kick it over to track number 5. WTF, Rednecks Can't Groove. And
Oh, how unfair.
lower that back down. There we go. Alrighty. Back to the
And apparently-
comments.
Indigo is cosplaying as Harpo Marx tonight.
Sounds like
All right. Getting back into the comments here. Sarah says, laid up, O-Dog Pope, and hi to everyone. Been out of it with what's been going on. Too much pain, missed a lot. Oh, sorry you're going through a bunch of pain. And Carl says, for Green Room Miscreants, Steve sent us over 30 cigars today, so he's getting books in trade. I love the barter system.
Right. It is alive and well.
And Sarah's saying, see how much I love you, brother?
no, I don't.
And Kitty says, we only tease because we care, lover. And
So
Sarah's
mature.
saying, ears ringing, can't hear.
Fair enough.
And Carl's going, Carl, so I get 17 of them? Donna says 16. Carl, why did I marry a smart woman?
Otherwise,
Because-
it would be boring.
One.
And Grant says, think I'm going to go and try to get some work done. Well, you have a good night, Grant. Get some
Good
work
seeing
done while you can. And Donna says, already posted about them in Secret Human Group with some dude. And Grant saying good night to all. Carl saying good night to Grant. And Nick says, well, Rich, if you have to be trite, you have time to write. And Carl says, thanks, Donna. There goes my joke for tomorrow. And Grant says, see you guys. Sarah says, ciao for now, Grant. And to continue, more blood work to do, orthopedist to see, follow-up appointment with a general practitioner all coming up. WTF is indeed the thing with the most current issue of the legs. Odd. And Donna says, you're very welcome, Woodsman Dude. And that catches us back up here. Ooh, that is still warm. We're going to put the gloves on. Or at least a glove, rather. And move this over to the table of waiting.
Bro made their first candle the other night.
Oh, how'd that go?
About the same as Missy's.
Did they get their dirt one?
I don't know if they added jerky to that one or not. But they added some black into the red dye this time to try to get the color that they wanted, and it came a little closer.
Nice.
They added it at the last second so that it would kind of a blendish, kind of a thing.
Marbleize, kind of.
Yeah,
Okay. That sounds cool.
Almost like a black pearlescent. You don't see a lot of it, but you can see a little bit of it.
Nice.
Okay.
And then our middle child is moving to Indianapolis, apparently Friday. And I'm just hoping that I don't get a message saying you're right, Dad. They woke up standing over me, saying it puts the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again. Because I don't know, it's they strike me as odd. And okay, that comes from me. Someone strikes me as odd.
Not fun odd, I take it. The way you're describing the situation.
Part of my brain is screaming that they're going to get single white female.
Oh Lord.
But they're Brit's moving down there with their significant other. They're moving in with two roommates that moved from Arizona over this way, and they always used to send Brit weird little stuffies and bracelets and stuff like that in the mail and stuff like that, and I'm like, that's just weird.
At least there's a previous relationship there. It's not like a total stranger kind of, like we met on Craigslist kind of thing, and like
they met on Facebook, and it just.
To be fair, most of the people on the sidebar we met on Facebook.
Here's the thing, it's
different.
Function higher than my special needs child.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And like I said, thinking or about to say, I could just be being an overprotective father.
Yeah.
Especially with the type of people that Brittany tends to surround herself with. So, but thankfully, at least in Indianapolis, Misty's youngest sister and her husband live down there, and Misty's middle sister's oldest child lives down there as well.
Okay, so she's got family down there.
Yeah.
So she's not like cut off from family members or like resourceless. So that's good at least.
Get that stuck on there. Come on, peel.
But I'm happy for my middle child. They're doing me proud. They're going to be working 2 jobs down there, I guess.
Wow.
They are trying to save back and finally start paying Misty and I back for the 3-ish grand that they're in debt to us.
Okay, good on them.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, her ex-fiance should be doing the bulk of that. But yeah, he ain't doing jack. The guy that would rather buy Mountain Dew than pay his fucking car note.
Oh my god. Well, sounds good that that's an ex.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they could have gone, hey, can you put Mountain Dew on the grocery list? And I would have.
Yeah.
But
Alright,
yeah,
we're
it is what it is.
It definitely sounds like a bullet dodge there.
Yeah.
And gonna hop back into the comments here. Carl says at least we didn't have a car chase through the yard today. Yeah, I saw you guys' post about that the other day.
Did you ever find out why you had a car chase through your yard?
They were running from somebody.
One from the other, it sounded like, at least when I read it, but goodness.
And Sarah says, generally a good thing. Maybe the weather made them stay home.
Yeah.
Ruby says, sorry to hear all the troubles you're having, Sarah. And Carl says, surprised that the first chase didn't tear up the yard. Yeah. Especially with all the rain and stuff we've had lately. And Sarah's saying, living in Champaign-Urbana, we always knew something was wrong if we didn't have our daily shooting or bank robbery.
Oh, jeez.
Got so desensitized to sirens, but to hear a train horn, I jump a mile.
First chase through the yard, there was more than one.
Sarah says, good thing for that today with the rain. It would have, yeah. And couldn't they do it with a lawnmower and make themselves useful?
Right?
And Carl's saying, I know what you mean, Sarah. I used to live near Westside Park, but it was better in those days. Still, yeah. Starting to melt? Yes, it is. Excellent.
More minions from an army of the undead. Excellent. Sir, you gotta let go of the button. Oh, son of a...
And Carl says, okay, if you judge Facebook people by us, then I'd be worried for her too, Rich.
Uh-huh.
Right?
And I am going to apologize in advance. The first time I have eaten today was just before the stream started. Other than that, I had a Cadbury caramel egg and a handful of potato chips.
Oof.
And celery.
Oh yeah, and the celery stick.
Yep.
So Richie's sugar is still normalizing.
Fair enough.
And Sarah's saying, yeah, being back in the Mattoon Charleston area, people turn on their scanners when they hear sirens. Shambana has SWAT, FBI, state, county, local, fire department, etc. Scanner would sound like maybe someone with schizophrenia would hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl says, oh, Sarah, the scanner at Radio Shack where I worked was always working.
Oh, yeah, I'll bet.
And Sarah says, I bet people have asked me what all the emergency vehicles were about around me down here, and I told them I didn't even know there were any. Blade says, I grew up around train tracks, so those horns don't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd get desensitized to that eventually.
Well,
yeah.
see, the thing is, we spent every weekend at my paternal grandmother's house, and she literally lived a stone's throw from train tracks. So we would like, watch the trains at like 3 o'clock in the morning because they were right there.
There's a house on County Road 475 out south of, like, kind of between Valpo and Wheeler, Indiana, that if a train ever derails at that intersection, that house is toast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was my grandma's house.
Like, I could probably pee without a good wind behind me from one of their windows and hit the tracks. Like, that house has gotta shake when a train goes by.
Yeah.
And Sarah says, got a strange look, just came back desensitized. And Carl says, update, no idea why there was a car chase.
Okay.
And Sarah says, Ruby, thank you, and keep on keeping on. And Kitty says, you need to finish your book thesis. I need to know what happens.
They all live happily ever after now. Leave me alone.
Carl says she's not going to let it go, Thesis.
I know.
Yeah, and he said, I know she won't. Don says, I hear you, Rich. After the garlic, mashed potatoes, and onion rings, my blood glucose is still trying to normalize.
So
I saw a recipe online the other day for like a taco spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to make that tonight, but instead I used rotini noodles instead of the spaghetti noodles. And oh, did it turn out good.
Oh, it's good.
You use a block of the Velveeta Blanco queso and jar of salsa, taco seasoning, and a pound of hamburger. And Donna says, I hate crossing train tracks due to something that happened when I was 4. This isn't the place for the story. Ask me Friday if you want to know. Somebody make a mental note of that. And Carl says, that hat is really coming along. We will be up there before the end of the next Munzie Clan Wars, I think.
Yeah. And then it looks like after this one, maybe 10 more rounds, if that. And that most of them are decreasing, so it's going to go a lot faster. So yeah,
Nice.
This is the side. I'm to the sides of it, and then the rest of it's like decreasing, and then the brim. We're getting there.
Donna says, I was thinking the same thing with some dude. It's looking good.
Thank you.
And we're going to pull Foxy back up here. And I'm going to move.
Donna's beret that she's going to wear to the cigar store.
Kind of mash up this wax a little bit. Help it along. Figure out what color I want to put with this. I don't want to do red because it's got red writing on the outside.
After spelling the scents in that gentleman set, I've decided I need to figure out what are the proper ingredients for a decent mustache wax.
Ooh.
And try making my own.
There you go.
Like Dapper Dan kind of man.
Speaking of the gentleman's collection, I think I'm going to do a different scent out of that for this one. But the question is, what scent am I going to do?
Sweet tobacco.
Yep.
Sweet tobacco it is.
Good.
So I got the same set for Misty for the viewers out there. Trey and Joe already know, and it's that sweet tobacco scent is a good portion of the scent that is in the beard oil I currently use from Mad Viking, which is the Odensrock, which is a cherry and sweet tobacco. And that reminds me of my dad's pipe tobacco from when I was a little kid. Back when my dad used to smoke a pipe. Now he can be smoked in a pipe.
I'm leaving that alone. I'm just gonna get my new little eyedropper ready here, and
Hey, my one sister is handing them out in vials.
and what color do I want to do with this? I want to try. Oh, you know what? We'll do a dye. We'll do one of the colored dyes.
I need to get an aspen seed and take some of my dad's ashes and use that as some of the fertilizer to start that sucker up.
Oh yeah.
Because then we really would be the Aspen Grove.
We're going to do butter. That looks like the closest to gold that I have. Do I need to? Yeah, probably need to.
Because of the lightheadedness and dizziness I've been having lately, I've been having issues with my hearing going in and out. So at first, I thought you said, we're going to go with butt hurt.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, who did what to you?
Happy International Women's Day.
Different kind of butt hurt. But at least someone's getting something out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
That pun was not intended, but I will stand by it.
Good man.
And I don't fear my puns or anything like that, but naturally occurring puns, I'm not going to take the credit for that. It's a lazy way to get credit for the pun. But I'll stand by them when they occur. But I'll admit that wasn't me. That's good. I'll use it if I can remember it in the future.
All right.
Foxy, did you finish that?
I think so, but I'm gonna have to resize it.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, looks good.
It looks like a choker necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. About that size. Yeah, I might have to take it down a bit and resize it for a bracelet anyway. I guess I could make it an anklet.
I was gonna say, make a match set.
Yeah.
That'll take forever. That's got silver colored wire and copper.
Ooh, yeah.
These are emerald mixed with ruby.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Put some leaves coming off the back of it and make it kind of like a tiara type thing.
There you go.
All right, I'm gonna hop back into some of the comments here. Nick says, "All right, I love you, man, but when your blood sugar is off, you turn into a real jerk, and not in the fun, charismatic way. You have too dang much medical training to not know better." I don't know why I just struggled to read that, but
Because words is hard.
Oi. Carl says, "Oh, Rich was singing about a cigar store. We found out that we passed a huge cigar store on the way to Holocon." And Kitty says that bracelet is looking good too. And Carl says Foxy works fast. Yeah, you've been working super fast.
Right?
My hands go on autopilot and I don't have to think.
Ah.
That's always a good thing.
Braids are fairly easy to do.
So, Foxy, I've got to ask you because Trey
What?
got me to tune in on a feed on Twitch on Sunday to a couple of individuals that were doing chainmail. They were doing a cube off. They were making jelly cubes. And at the end of it, one of the individuals, a gentleman designed by Joe, talented man. I want his hands broken. Surely out of jealousy. I'm in awe at some of the stuff that the man was doing. He did something called Viking weave out of a single strand of copper wire. It looked like it was actually a chain necklace. Is that something that you do or can do?
That could be something fun to experiment with.
Because
Just kind of a standard triple braid.
if you do learn how to do it, I would be very interested in learning.
Okay. If I figure out how to
Because
do the braids, I'll definitely let you know.
It is cool, and it was so supple. You would think it was actually a chain necklace.
Huh.
Yeah, it was. And they're like, oh yeah, it's just one wire. What?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've just never really done it. But I might have to practice that.
All right. Got my
I
yellow
always
added
enjoy
in there.
learning new things, so.
Oh wow, that does look cool. Wow.
So I think it's well. Then again, go figure. I'll learn how to speak here eventually. It's not like I do it for a living. My profession, learning and always keeping the mind, growing, expanding. If you're not, constantly learning something, you start dying. You start stagnating, and especially in IT. So you got to keep up with the times, I've always enjoyed learning new things, and
I do too. If you stop learning, you're dead.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
it's one of the great things about this group is, there's all sorts of cool crap we can teach each other.
Yeah. That's for sure.
And some of it is even PG-13 rated.
Right?
Yeah, I actually, downshifted at the last second on that one. We know my language, and I actually, did something that was, even, okay for TV.
And we are an hour and a half in. We're going to play a couple of ads here, so we'll be back after this short commercial break.
In the early days of the Korean War, an underage boy ran away from his family's farm in West Virginia to join the Army. He quickly transferred to the Air Corps and became a fighter pilot. Somehow, he became useful to several alphabet agencies, so he was recruited to help them during the Cold War. Eventually, he got tired of being a spy and tried to retire. Fate had other ideas. These are some of the early adventures of Captain Tom Darby of the U.S. Army Air Corps. From before that fateful night, he rode his motorcycle around a curve too fast on a back road in rural Georgia and accidentally began a new life entirely.
Alrighty, and we are back, and we're going to go over to track number 10, Rush Hour Traffic Don't Get in My Way. And we're going to hop back in the comments here real quick, as soon as I scroll and find where I'm at. Oop, come on, work with me here. Don't you start acting up now. There we go. Sarah says, love to fertilizing nature and living through the life of a tree. There are pods where you can be buried around tree roots. I'd love to do that. That's how you get haunted forests.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not deterring anybody.
They're just kind of on a black background.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a little big for a bracelet, I think, even for me.
Work on me.
Not the green room, not the green room, not the green room, not the green room.
And Kitty says she really does, Carl. I've seen her knock out multiple bracelets in one night.
Uh-huh.
Sarah says, no idea if anything's like that around here. Doubt it, but a stone could be put at the base of the tree.
Joe knows why I'm giggling.
Or skipped across the lake. Anyway, Carl says Foxy is done. And Sarah says, trouble focusing on topics, derp.
Yeah, us too.
And Sarah says, I got a black leather choker that has metal studs on it. I think BKM said Cookie could extend it for me to wear it. Got it at the Halloween store that pops up in Lafayette, wearing a different choker. And Dan says, okay, printer ink changed, Lindsay's car insurance card printed, now back to the party.
Woo!
Well, welcome back, sir. And Nick's giving a heart to Sarah. And Carl says, more thunder, more storms coming. Let me pull up the handy-dandy-weather.gov. It looks like you're about on the edge of it now, Carl. Nick's gonna get hit one more time here. He's gonna catch a northern edge. And we are here in the clear out here, according to the radar. Let's see. Sarah's sending bats and hearts to Nick. And sounds right, Carl, with the time period that's left here. The studs are spikes on the choker, either way. And Carl says, soft dance party.
Yes.
And Sarah says, OMG, the Sesame Street yip 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 characters. Yip 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 yip. And Sarah says, hells yeah, some techno goth. Dan says, oh bugger, I need to get out the saddle soap and clean mold off the Bowie knife sheath I made for a holster belt several years ago. That's going to be a PETA.
Yeah.
A little bit. Nick says, techno goth music takes me back. And Dan says, I bet I need to clean the cartridge belt and holster too. Probably. Kitty says, sometimes I miss the goth club music. And Sarah says, look up Communion After Dark on YouTube, 100%. And Nick's asking Dan, do you know where I can find good holster patterns? I have some projects. And I saw that, Rich. I need to get some of those still for this season.
Yep.
I need to check the actual temp on this bad boy. What do we got here? 50, 160, 170.
Yeah.
There, I'm definitely upping my blood sugar.
Alright, we're sitting at about 180 in some spots and 150 in others. So we're going to go ahead and add in the sweet tobacco. Bring this over here. Pull myself up here. And start off with 3 and see how that smells. I have a feeling this one is going to be far stronger. I also have far more wax in here too, so
Oh.
I think we're going to do a couple more just to be on the safe side here.
What?
There we go. Oh yeah, it's got a good smell to it.
Nice.
Cover this up before I dump it all over the place. And time to break out the gloves.
Okay, I see what I'm doing here.
Time to break out the love gloves.
Love gloves.
Love gloves. And
You get one back there.
What? Feeling.
Go ahead and pour this and hope that I made enough.
Chain 1 does not count as a stitch here after that.
I did not make nearly enough. Crap.
Oops.
Whoopsie!
Oh, and that is not going to stay. You suck.
All right. For anyone wondering why I had that on top, had the top of the dice bag on top of a can of pop, is judging the size. Usually, basically, if I go just a little bit more than a can of pop for the small dice bag, and then from there just stop expanding after it gets just over that, then it's usually a good size for a small, couple set of dice bag.
Pull Rich back over here. And yeah, this isn't gonna work out at all. I definitely would have thought I had enough. But that's okay. Come on. Oh, okay.
Let's see what I can get to.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, that's sweet tobacco. Ooh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Is that beeswax? Is that soy? Is that a beeswax soy blend?
Straight soy. I am using the Wick brand granulated wax. It was a 3-pound package.
Is that from our friend Bezos?
I think this was. Because the next box of wax I have is actually paraffin.
I still need to look at that the sale pieces, the sale wax at that Candle Science site. But I'll tell you what, that 19-pound wax melter for $68, that can't be that stick.
I'm seriously considering getting that still.
I'm half tempted to get that and let Misty start doing candles out of that and take the little one and use that to do batches for mustache wax if I start making mustache wax.
There you go. All right, so I'm gonna get through these last set of comments here, and we're gonna wrap her up for the night because we're coming up on 2 hours here in about 15 minutes. Dan's telling Nick I can make holster patterns, and Carl says, "Rich, that is not a substitute for a good meal." And
no, it's my bowl was full earlier, so
it was.
I was gonna say you did eat like actual food.
Yeah. And Sarah says, "Kitty, they DJ a ton of music for you, and then if you like a song, look at the timestamp, then go down in the description. They list it. Copy paste into YouTube, boom, or just enjoy. Nice. I binge those. They're about 2 hours long, uploaded every Monday."
Nice.
And we have Edwin Buzz here. I'm guessing he's over on Pops' channel, saying, "Hail peeps." Good evening, Edwin.
Don't call people peeps around my wife. She'll attempt to eat them.
Peeps are delicious.
She's addicted to stale bunny and chicken marshmallows.
Delicious.
They're horrible.
They gotta be stale. If they're fresh. Although when I got the cotton candy, when I got the caramel Cadbury's earlier, I did grab 2 boxes of the cotton candy Peeps for Misty because she adores both cotton candy and Peeps.
Nice. And Dan saying, basically you can wrap the Nerf gun with a large sheet of paper, use sewing pins to make it fit correctly, add 1/2 inch and cut the paper there, then trace it out on leather, vinyl, and stitch.
Have your wife
Stitch it with an owl.
Because
Oh,
We all know what happens when a guy tries to measure half an inch. They say it's 12.
Amen. Sarah says a few of my friends are in the goth bands and also look up Mira Luna live shows at Kitty. Germany has the seriously ginormous goth scenes of
Oh, yeah.
entities of people. YouTube when you can't go to any of the live performances of any of the bands. I'm drinking a Monster. This topic got me on a roll. A hyper one.
Oh my.
It's the land of the actual goths, filled with goths.
Right.
Dan says you'll need a thimble to protect your fingertips from the needle on the awl. And Carl says the sinus pill is winning, and he's starting to fall asleep. Sarah says, Oz, I want some of my Monster, Carl. Looks like I don't need any more of it. Kitty says I was almost always the only black girl dancing in the club, and people expect me not to know anything about the bands, like I should only know REO because I'm black. And Carl says, yeah, Kitty, a lot of people hold odd ideas, yeah. Sarah says the Chicago scene has blacks. That's a weird mindset.
Right.
And Carl's saying goodnight to everybody. Sarah says some of my greatest friends so wrong on so many levels, and saying goodnight to the Dark Pope. Stompy Boots, Kitty. And Nick says that is odd, Kitty, but then I have been the only white dude at a blues concert. Sarah says on a paper map, an inch equals a mile. And Nick says, thank you, Dan. I was thinking something more traditional in this case. And with that, folks, we are going to call it an evening. So we will be back next Wednesday. I won't be here because I'll be at a town meeting. But Trey will be back. Dawn should be back with us. Rich will most likely be here. Foxy, you or Blader are always welcome. Mm-hmm. And whoever else wants to join that gets the link every week. So with that, folks, we will see you next week. Have a great night.
Caring is sharing, and we like to share.
Bye, all.
Good night, folks.